Hey, I'm Eric Rokeach, and I'm here with Kyle Newell, owner of Newell Strength in New Jersey, and he was one of the people that attended Vince's mentorship, and he's here to share his experiences and some of the words about everything that took place. So, Kyle, I want to dive right into this. I want to just right off the bat tell me about the experience that you had at the mentorship.
The experience at Vince's mentorship, I thought it was fantastic because he was able to, it was very intimate there. He was able to answer all my questions specifically. Sometimes you go to these things and that's not the case. Vince had an agenda to go by, but at the same time, he built in enough time where everybody can write down concerns. Everybody can go over those concerns. And he didn't really, he was okay with anybody that were asking questions that might seem obvious to himself. And he really just provided some great guidance for everybody that was there. And guys were all coming from different types of gyms and different types of businesses in the fitness industry. But Vince was able to apply everything to anyone that needed it.
So you've been to things that have been similar to this and other things, and was this more of a personal, closer type of thing? Like he was able to really help people more than it would have maybe at another event.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, the intimacy was great. You almost felt like it was one-on-one with him, although that was not the case. And he also had some of his team members there to answer questions. So I know normally when I go to these things, I won't get to ask a lot of questions.
Right.
But with the way it was, the way Vince really wanted to help everybody individually, I got all my questions answered. I wasn't rushed, and I definitely walked away knowing that I got well worth my investment back in ideas to apply.
Okay, let's talk about some of the changes or results that had come of this since you'd been there. So, what have you seen that's changed in your business that you took the steps that you probably wouldn't have taken before if you hadn't gone to this mentorship?
One of the big things was communication with my team and the mindset of how I want to continue to build my team. It was amazing to watch how Vince and his staff work together and how it's just a smooth operating machine. So that was one of the big things was communication and team building. Another thing was what Vince is very big on is the growth mindset. And literally, after the mentorship, I was debating to move into a bigger unit for my gym, and I talked to Vince, and him instilling that growth mindset in me. I went for the bigger spot, which was huge. It's brought in a lot of new business just because of the professional feel. People aren't crowded. Definitely a better environment. And then Vince, everything is disclosed, really. He gives you a bunch of his paperwork with how they ran different programs, how they ran different contests. And that was stuff I've already been able to apply to my business. And Vince is very open. He says, take what you need from here and just, don't use the rest. So it was one of those mentorships where you walk away with actionable steps.
Hmm. So, again, you've been to things like this before. Had you seen any of this type of stuff?
No, not really on the level that Vince was doing it because the way he created the rapport and the back and forth conversation with the other members and myself. I hadn't seen that before at another thing like this because usually you just get lost in the crowd. But you could tell that one of Vince's main goals was quality and to make sure everybody walked away with no unanswered questions. It's definitely different than anything else I've been to that was along the same lines as this.
Would you say, because you're saying it's different, would you say that maybe there's a different level of professionalism compared to some of the other ones?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny even going into it. When I first got there the first day, Vince was dressed up. He just looked very professional, more so than people normally do at these things. He had on dress pants. It's just weird. First impression stood out in my mind. I'd never met Vince, and the way he had, a couple of his team members always with him. Everything was seamless when we needed something or he needed something. He wasn't looking around for it. Just very businesslike and very professional. You knew why you were there.
Okay, and you'd mentioned before you'd moved into a new facility, but you weren't really going to do that. And then you spoke to Vince. You were at the mentorship, and he was the catalyst that basically pushed you forward. Kind of walk me through the process there and what it was that how he helped you do that.
Well, I had just it was like the day before starting the mentorship, I put my resignation from teaching. And, this was around the time in New Jersey, Hurricane Sandy, there was damage to my gym. So I was in a temporary spot. So when I got on, a phone call with Vince a couple weeks after the mentorship, I said, Vince, I'm looking to maybe go into a bigger unit. I don't know if it's the right time. I just resigned. And Vince kind of gave me the kick in the butt. And he said, you got to have that growth mindset. And he asked he asked for some numbers from me. And just with him giving me the advice and where he had been to move forward with this and to be confident in the decision and to know that he had been there already was a huge confidence boost to me. And once I talked to him and really started applying the mindset that he talks about, the decision was easy and it really took a lot of pressure off my shoulders.
Do you think you would have done it or done it as quickly if you hadn't spoken to Vince or gone to the mentorship?
Probably not. I
Okay.
wasn't planning on moving until the summertime, you know,
Yeah.
and it really just accelerated the process. But I'm glad it did.
And what is that? What have you seen business-wise because of the change of location and things like that?
You have older members who had, for one reason or another, stopped coming back because of the environment and the atmosphere. I've drawn in a number of new clients um, with the new environment, the new place, and with the systems I've implemented that Vince shared with me. It makes the business run a lot better when people come in. They also feel like they're coming into a professional business, not just a gym that's in a garage. So the financial impact already, and it hasn't been that long, but it's been fantastic from attending Vince's mentorship.
So, would you say that I guess this has kind of been for you maybe a life-changing experience?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever I leave these types of things, I always call my wife and tell her, the rundown, what I thought of it. And a lot of times when I come back from these things, I say, oh, so. I might have gotten something from it. But coming back from Vince's, I called her right away after the first day. I said, this was awesome because there was a lot of things coming to a point in my life at that time with resigning from teaching, really wanting to grow the business, confusion, and just being around Vince and learning from him and kind of having him as my mentor now really accelerated the process forward and gave me the confidence to know that there's somebody in my corner that's going to guide me through this next time in my life. So I definitely say it's a life changing experience.
Now, what do you see your potential future as being now because of this?
It's definitely expanded in my mind because seeing the way Vince's place is run and how he does it and the numbers that he's working with, I know that if he did it, and I know he would want me to think this way, that I could do it. So it's expanded, my goals and my vision of where I can be and what is possible. So it's definitely made me take that next leap career-wise.
Now, what would you say to people who are going to see this and they're not sure if maybe this is the right mentorship or thing for them, and they think, well, maybe I can go to someplace else or whatever. What would you want to say to somebody like that?
I would say if you don't go, you're being foolish because when you go to something like this, the way I always, as a business owner, look at it is, am I going to get my money back? It's an investment. And with Vince's mentorship, for the price of it, I mean, you can't invest in something like that, any real estate, stock market, and get your return back like you would go on to Vince's mentorship. So you definitely have to look at it as an investment. You're making yourself better, and if you don't go, the other people that are there are just going to leapfrog you, and you're missing out.
What type of return on investment in terms of like how many times your investment have you seen come back from this? Two, three, four more times, would you say so far?
Already, I'd say, and again, it's only been three months. I'd say about 4 to 5 times my return on investment.
Wow, very cool. Well, anything else that you want to add about the mentorship that you want people to know about that we didn't cover?
No, just like I said, guys, it's and girls, it's definitely worth it. It's unlike any other one I've been to. You're gonna get the attention you need. You're gonna feel comfortable there, which is a big thing. A lot of times you might not feel so comfortable at these things, and take advantage of it while he's doing it, because you never know how long somebody like Vince is gonna offer up his knowledge and his time. So definitely act on it immediately.
Very cool. Well, Kyle, I appreciate you taking the time to share your experience about Vince's mentorship, and wish you the best of luck with everything in the future.
Thanks, sir.